The Métis have a historic relationship to the land and its resources, and were instrumental in the exploration and development of Manitoba as a province. In 1869, the Métis of the Red River Colony resisted the Government of Canada, who were trying to make it part of the newest territory. In 1870, Sir John A. Macdonald committed 1.4 million acres of land for the children of the Métis majority in the Red River settlement. The promise was made to the Métis provisional government and its president, Louis Riel. Under the terms of that agreement, the Manitoba Act was created, allowing Manitoba to become Canada's 5th province. The 1.4 million acres included what is now Winnipeg, but many of the Métis never received land, or their land was bought back by the government for little compensation. On March 8, 2013, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that Canada failed to implement the Manitoba Act of 1870. The decision followed 32 years of court action against the governments of Manitoba and Canada. The Supreme Court ruled 6-2 in favour of the MMF. The decision sets the stage for a land claims settlement between the MMF and the Government of Canada. The Supreme Court added, "The ruling has massive implications for future Canadian Métis relationships. The unfinished business of reconciliation of the Métis people with Canadian sovereignty is a matter of national and constitutional import." In other provinces, Métis leaders praised the ruling as a historic step forward for their people. The Métis see themselves as a nation, unified by common traditions, history, the Michif language, and even a distinctive national flag, a white infinity symbol on a blue background. Not only will this ruling fundamentally change the course of Crown-Métis relations in Canada for generations to come, but the Supreme Court of Canada has confirmed the outstanding claims of the Manitoba Métis and the children of the Red River settlement, says President David Chartrand of the MMF. As the Supreme Court said so well, so long as the constitutional grievance at issue here remains outstanding, the job of reconciliation and constitutional harmony remains unachieved. After a jubilant arrival at the James Richardson Airport to a crowd of Métis supporters, President Chartrand paid homage at the gravesite of Métis hero Louis Riel and informed the crowd gathered there of the decision of the Supreme Court.
Well, I must tell you personally, I'm very, very proud to be here today to bring home such a victorious decision by the Supreme Court of Canada. It's great to see my cabinet here. You know, without them, it would never have occurred. Without the support, and the church bells are ringing proud for our people here. But I think people don't realize that Riel has said, my people will rise in 100 years, but I think he forgot to tell everybody he too will rise in 100 years. Because if you look at what has just took place, in fact, in the Supreme Court of Canada, two great leaders met again, John A. Macdonald and Louis Riel. There was a scrimmage that took place, but this time we didn't run out of bullets. This time our guns were loaded, and this time we were victorious.
At the gravesite, President Chartrand paid respect to past President John Morrisseau, who started the legal action 32 years ago. Since taking leadership of the MMF, and with the guidance of many Métis elders such as Senator Edward Head, David has led the charge to gain the land claims rights for all Métis citizens in Manitoba. President Chartrand is also a strong supporter of Métis youth and understands they will become the future of the Métis population.
And by empowering education, you take care of yourself forever. Nobody can take your education from you. They took our land from us. But if you have an education, nobody can ever take that from you, ever. So that's one thing I hope people, young kids, realize, that education is one of the real tools to get you out of poverty and to a better future. But there is so much. Christie, Lavallee is another example. You know, she's a archer, she's blind in one eye, she's a dancer, she wasn't supposed to live, she had cancer. And I have such great pride in those role models, that is role models to me. It's not just the Louis Riels or Ambrose Lapines or, you know, or even myself. A lot of kids see me as a role model. You know, there's young role models today that probably get better kudos for what they've been able to accomplish versus what I've accomplished. So, you know, I think it's so fitting that we tell our young people to be ready, because we're going to be ready for them. So, but they need to do their share and never stop believing. That's got to be the key. Never stop believing.
Since returning to Winnipeg after the decision, David and the board of directors at the MMF moved quickly. The MMF appointed a committee to help develop a fund which will benefit not only Manitoba Métis, but all Manitobans and Canadians for generations to come. The committee includes former Prime Minister Paul Martin, CEO Hartley Richardson, CEO Sandy Riley, and Chancellors Harvey Sector and Eric Newell, with more to be named later.
I've amassed one of the most powerful trust company members ever. That in a feat of itself. I got a beautiful letter from Pauline. I won't say her last name because unless she allows me, but she commended me on this trust committee I put together with. Right now, there's 5 very powerful people on the committee, and you know, I can't say enough of my appreciation and respect for them, to asking them to take on a task of this nature, for them to help us put together a solid foundation. We have to make sure as a government and as a people, we got to prepare the next generation. And in order to do that, the only way we can set the stage is as we advance, whether it's in our economic businesses or whether we advance in the land claims settlement, we've got to put together a trust system, a trust company that would take our monies and invest it well and start planning how that money cannot be touched, not be tampered with, not be stolen or not be misused. That the money must be protected for our children and our grandchildren.
The MMF has already proved it is financially responsible and has created its own laws to sustain hunting and fishing for all Manitobans. The MMF Building on Henry will become a beacon for all Métis in Manitoba. With strong leadership and talented, energetic youth emerging, the future of the Manitoba Métis population is strong. Our time has come.